There's nothing better than country music, and the coach Justin's producing the show. I love the kid, and my buddy, long-term buddy Joe Messina, and I are doing the show.
Actually, now I go by Billy Bob Joe.
Hey, Billy Bob, what time is your show on across the country?
Well, it's carried here on KHTS, your hometown station.
12:20 a.m.
From 9 to midnight, Monday through Friday. If you have a problem with low blood pressure, just tune into my show. I'll get it all pumped up for you.
And you don't spare anything. You go after everybody and everything.
I'm an equal opportunity insulter.
But I love that about you. I listen to your show many times, and you make sense. The thing is, you're a make sense kind of guy. So let's talk about what's going on with Donald Trump, Ted Cruz. Here's the thing I'm going to say about Donald Trump, and I haven't made a decision yet. My guy really is Christie, because I think he's a ruthless, dirty politician. And
wow, yeah, you heard him.
Do you hear yourself?
I do hear myself.
Okay, just making sure.
No, there's something about Christie that I just think, you're too young. You were even born before Daley of Chicago was in office. Getting guys in there that can pay somebody off on this side, get something done on that side. I think Christie could do that.
See, now you want to know why the millennials don't trust us?
No,
right?
I know why.
I'm going to write an Alfred E. Newman.
All right.
And some of you are going to have to
Here's
look that
the deal
up.
with Trump. Could I vote for him? Yes. Here's why. I want to get your
I don't
take.
want to, but go ahead.
But here's why. The guy, there's nothing in his background with his kids that has surfaced. So I like that. He's a good father. The kids like him. He's built, yes, his dad gave him $5 million to start the business, but look what he's done with it. Look what he's done with it. So he's had his ups and downs, but for the most part, he has been a deal maker. We need a deal maker. We need somebody to get rough and tough with the Chinese, rough and tough with NATO, get rid of the United Nations, and on and on and on.
Yeah, I think...
So we're talking about Trump right now.
So surface-wise, what scares me about Trump is he has to understand that the presidency is not a business. You're not the CEO of a company, right? You cannot just fire
the
people in
government
Congress.
Is not a business?
No. You cannot run it like, listen, I don't like what Congress is doing. I'm going to fire that team and bring my own team in. You can't do that. You can't fire the senators. There's elected positions. There's positions that he can't just hire an attorney general. He can put one up, and then what? The Senate has to approve it. I don't think he really understands that yet. He's used to getting what he wants with a wave of his hand. So
look, if the Donald becomes president, don't you think he slips an envelope under everybody's door? Don't you think everybody gets an envelope? So if you and I got an envelope, hey.
Well, I'm thinking, I don't know what his problem is. A lot of people voted for Obama because they got the Obama phone, right? He could do a Trump phone, couldn't he? He's got enough money.
Yeah.
He probably could pay for it for like 5 years. But here's the thing.
Hey, money talks, and you know what walks.
Yeah,
so he slips an envelope under the door.
There we go. All right. What are you, from Boston?
I've watched politics. I was on Reagan's campaign.
We're going to meet in the alley at 5:30.
I was on Reagan's campaign. I know a little bit about politics.
And that was the other thing they brought up, was the fact that Trump is not a conservative, or he's new to the conservative movement, or he doesn't quite. I mean, Reagan for years wasn't a conservative.
He was a Democrat.
He was a left-leaning Democrat. But here's the deal. He came across. He brought the party. He did a lot of pulling the party together.
We're talking to Joe Messina on a show we call Business Life. Let's get in the weeds here
Politics
for a second.
of life,
What's the difference today between a Democrat and a Republican? So I don't think there's any difference. I think there's a real difference between true conservatives like you and myself that love the Constitution, understand what the founding fathers had in mind. Yes, it's 2016, and we need to tweak some things, but we're not going to tweak the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, or any of the amendments. Why do they need to be tweaked? They don't. What we need to tweak is the educational system. What we need to tweak is getting rid of 2 million government workers. God bless you if you're a federal worker and you're listening to the show, but we have too many people doing nothing and contributing nothing.
And the board agrees.
Yes, and he's a millennial. He's agreeing with everything.
Yeah, no. I think we definitely, government is bloated. There's no question about it.
Give it back to the states. Don't you agree? Let the states
give the states the power they were supposed to have.
There you go.
Okay. And every time somebody trips up, in a business, just because your manager trips up, you don't just fire him. You don't take it away from him. You retrain, you teach, and you allow him or her to grow and get better at their job. What a federal government does is every time they don't like something a state or two states or three states is doing, they take it over for the 50, and it's not the way to handle it.
Right.
But again, come back to what's going on with Trump right now. Here's what I love about Trump. If Trump was, you talked about what's the difference between the two parties. If Trump wasn't in this mix, all the Republicans would be playing nice on stage. They wouldn't be poking each other about immigration or abortion or anything else, right? Trump's up there and he's calling everything out. He's saying those, you and I, even though you're a registered independent, you're sitting there going, yeah, I want to know what the other guys think about that, right? Who else in any one of the debates you've ever seen, he's sitting there and he looks over at Jeb Bush and he goes, have you noticed that you've slidden over 2 seats and in a couple of more, you're going to be off the stage. So why should I listen to you?
Can I ask you an honest question, personal question?
You can ask me a lie.
You know what changed my opinion? I'm getting off the subject a little bit, but we're talking about Donald Trump right now. Joe Messina, the coach on KHTS, 1220 AM. Incidentally, the greatest app I have, you just listened to me in New York. Greatest radio app in the country, seriously.
Not mine.
You have a good app, but this is another good app. Go to the App Store, download 1220 KHTS 1220 AM. Great app. But Trump is so intuitively smart. He went after Cruz and said, you know what, you weren't born in the United States. That affected me. I cannot vote for Cruz. I know I'm an old white guy, but you know what? I want you born in this country, pal. How do you honestly feel about that? Be honest.
About being born in this country or not? I don't know. There are many, look at unlike some of the people we claim came here for other reasons today, my grandparents came here from Italy. Do you know why they came here? They wanted a better life. They loved America. They loved what America stood for. You have
so
plenty.
Then you're for open borders.
No, see, don't do that. What are you, a Democrat now? Anyway, so what happens? I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on that, but whatever. But you have a lot of people who come here and see what this country stands for and love it and will die for it. Do you know the second?
Because that's when your grandparents. You're going to get me heated up here. When your grandparents came to the country, they flew the flag of the United States. They
Bingo.
wanted to be
Right.
American citizens. They wanted to represent what the founding fathers.
Yeah.
The young generation, they're flying their
country.
flag.
They love this country. They would have died for this country.
Absolutely. They did die for this country.
I have members of my family that served in the war to protect this country, fought in Italy against Italians to protect this country.
And the Irish and the Germans. But
so that's why I say to you, the only place I differ is that, I think that people come here, they fall in love with this country, and they love this country more than, what about those yo-hos that are on college campuses, say, born in this country, they're getting American dollars, they're getting American grant money, they're burning American flags. Too bad they weren't wearing them when it happened. And they have no respect, no appreciation, no love for this country.
Because at a young age, and I'm sorry because I know you're on the Hart School Board, this is where liberal, progressive teachers at an early age, even the 7th, 8th grade, did not show a love for this country, did not, like our president. Have you ever heard our president say one time, I love this country, I want you to love the country, and here's why we have the greatest country as ever, as he said at one time.
What? I'll even challenge some of the local listeners that I do this on my show, and send me the clip. Joe at the
We'll take the 30th call. If you're the 30th caller, I'll give you a $100 gas card.
Send me a clip.
Can I give the phone number out?
Please, go ahead.
30th caller, 298-5487. You'll get a $100 gas card from Joe and the coach. But back to...
The coach will pay for it.
I'll pay for it. Trump. So Trump... a lot of things, he's just what you said, he's touching what we're thinking about.
Forcing them to talk about it, yeah.
But he's touching the things we talk about in our private lives at lunch or breakfast. So my question to you is he electable?
Yeah, I think he is. I really do think he is. But here's what I think is going to happen, frankly. I think what's going to happen is, unless Hillary is put in handcuffs and put behind bars long before the election takes place, right?
Not going to happen. She's getting a pass.
But I think what's going to end up happening, well, I have a funny feeling. Joe Biden's been coming out the last few weeks, and in speeches he's been saying, why he would say it, I don't know. He's been saying the worst decision I made was not running for president.
When did he say this? This is breaking news.
He has said this 4 times in the last 2 weeks in speeches that he's given. So why would you say that? Why not just leave it alone? I think it looks like something's going to happen to Hillary. Okay, she's going to end up dropping out. He's going to fall into place because President Bernie Sanders, seriously? The Dems don't even want Sanders. And again, look at the crowd he's drawing.
Votes? I mean, the truth of the matter, Justin, close your ears here. We've had 15 callers, so 50 more callers, and the 30th caller gets a gas card from the coach. Close your ears when I'm going to say this, Justin. Okay, close your ears. Bernie's not electable because you know who votes. Old white people vote. That's who votes, and this is probably the last election. This is a serious election that if we don't get a conservative into office, I don't know what's going to happen to this country.
I would say the two concerning things.
And I'm not saying that to be mean
No.
to the left or anything else, but we've got to cut government. Anybody that thinks that they could live better under a bloated big government doesn't understand.
No, but Bernie's followers.
You want to take a caller? Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right, caller. You're not the 30th caller, but you are a great caller. What's your name? Caller. Hello.
Nothing.
We got the most modern phone system in the world. Hello, caller. Well, good, Justin.
Here you go.
You're
Spin it.
fired.
That sounds like the Comrex unit kicking in. But anyway.
You're fired.
So just real quick, the Bernie's followers are very young.
They're not gonna
followers,
vote.
and they don't tend to go out to vote.
No.
Trump's followers are first-time voters. A big portion of his followers are first-time voters.
We don't really know that. What, another caller? Okay.
Yeah, he'll throw something at us when he's ready. So my attitude with this is, first of all, you got to let it play out. We're still really early.
Yes.
Right.
Very early.
And the numbers keep sliding back and forth. But I think the thing that really appeals with Sanders is, again, people are struggling. They're having a hard time making ends meet. They're coming out of college with high debt. He's saying, "Boy, you shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be happy. Let me help you."
And that could be as many as 50, 60, 70 million people. We opened the show by saying there's 100 million plus adults. Well, if 50 or 60 million are struggling so much, he's preaching to them to the point.
Well, think about something. You go into the ballot box, right? You go into the voting booth, as they call it in our day, and you've got a government check in one hand, and you've got the ballot in the other hand.
Yep.
Depending on the box you check,
You don't want to lose that check.
you're going to lose the
You
check.
don't know.
Or
You
it's
don't
going to
want
get cut in half.
You're going to vote for the check.
And you need it to feed your family. You're being put in a very bad position, right?
This you're going to be on many. You're one of my cast members. Yeah. Well, they have to be the 30th caller. They're not the 30th caller. Keep calling. You got to be the 30th caller. Not today. We're not going to talk about today, but the fact that you are on the school board, we've got to find a way to encourage people to believe in themselves, to learn how to educate themselves, to not look. There's no excuse today with the internet that you should not be able to do discovery on your own, not be able to figure stuff
But you got
out.
to be careful.
Why?
Because you know what happens. Look I do a lot of research to do my show at night. I know some people don't believe that, but I do.
No,
and what
you do.
happens,
You
what I've
prepared.
noticed though is
You're prepared.
I've got to go 3 or 4 pages deep on Google to get the non-left leaning progressive viewpoint to things. They pound away on that interweb thing so much that what you get is your first 100 stories are always about how the right is wrong.
Keep calling. You'll get the gas card where we now need 10 more callers. We've had 20 callers. Good job. But let's get back to Trump. We're on Trump, and I want to move on to Cruz, and then I want to move on to what the establishment wants with this young, handsome, what is he, 44 years old?
Rubio?
Yeah.
Mr. Rico Suave.
Well, he's going to bring in the Hispanic vote. Think about when he gets out of New Hampshire.
When we come back from break, we do a Latin samba.
We have to do
or
a
something,
break
right?
now?
No,
Come on. We have to do a break? But once Rubio gets in the general election, he's going to be talking Spanish. He's going to be going to the States. Here's the truth that the public doesn't think about. It is the Electoral College that elects the President of the United States. So it's 5 states that elect the President of the United States. California, Ohio, Florida.
Here's proof positive, though. When
New York.
When we screw around with things we shouldn't have, and everybody screams about the Electoral College, but here's the deal. The Electoral College was never meant to be winner takes all. And that's what screws things up. There are 19 states now that have signed an agreement to all come together. All right. If you let the Electoral College work the way it was meant to work, we'd have some different outcomes in these elections.
Well, it's. Let me tell you what, the Electoral College is confusing to the average person.
Well, maybe they should. You talked about education. Maybe we should teach it more.
Yeah, we'll put him on the air. Does he want? What's he want to say? We'll put him on the air. You can't use bad language.
Well,
like we
define
do.
bad, right?
Well, our language is bad. Yeah.
That's why I'm on late at night. I can say whatever I want to.
I know. I love your show. Back to, so Trump, you think, has a chance? I say he's unelectable unless he changes. Okay, caller, identify yourself.
My name's Scott. I listen to you every week.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm honored that you listen. Say hi to Joe Messina.
Hey, Joe, I listen to you too.
Oh, well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Okay, so when you get in the voting booth, who you gonna vote for? You made up your mind yet?
I'm a conservative, and I have not.
Yeah,
Trump scares me a little bit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, well said, Scott. He scares all of us a little bit because, that guy, we don't see him in the picture, but that guy's carrying that briefcase, and I don't want Trump to go half off and pull the plug. What do you think of Rubio? Here's a young, handsome, speaks well, intelligent. He's going to be up against Hillary. You're going to have this tremendous contrast between the young and the old.
Well, I'd vote against anybody against Hillary. I'd take anybody against Hillary.
Anybody, okay. Well,
anybody against Hillary.
You're on our team. We're going to put you on our team.
Scott, if you had to right now, the vote's even. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and you had to vote for somebody. Who on the Republican side could you hold your nose and vote for?
I don't know. I like Christie.
That a boy. Scott's a smart dog. He's my favorite listener.
At first I thought Trump was only running to mess up the Republican vote.
I don't know about that. That was the early on. Yeah, that was the early. All the pundits were saying that early. But I think when you look at him behind the curtain, there was a reporter that followed him around for 3 or 4 days from the Wall Street Journal, a lady, and she was very complimentary of him. She said behind the scenes he was a quiet, thoughtful guy who did his homework. And yes, is he manipulative right now? Of course he is. But running for public office is just an amazing job that somebody has to do, and he's got the attention of everybody, and that's Kasich, who I kind of like personally as a human being who's gone into Ohio and got that state turned around as a Republican governor. None of these guys are able to get any traction because of how Trump acts. So Christie right now seems to be starting to get a little bit of traction in New Hampshire. It's going to be real interesting next Monday, Scott and Joe, to see what happens in New Hampshire.
We should get down to Rubio, Cruz, and Trump. I think should be the three on the stage hammering it out.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, thanks for calling in. Call in often. I'm on now Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to be on Monday. I've got to put on another caller. So God bless you. Keep listening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, what an honor to talk to you.
Doing good work.
Thank you, pal. Appreciate it. Okay, so Rubio, Cruz is not going to get. Cruz not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
I don't want to say that. I mean, if you think about the people that we could get or need to have. See, I think we're loading the ammunition of the other side way too much.
You have to use the word ammunition. Can you use
I'm going to use ammunition, gun, cannons, the whole 9 yards. Let them have it, right? But the bottom line with it is we've got 9 people left up there. Is it 9 or 7? 9 or 7 people. I don't even kidding me.
What happened to your girlfriend Carly?
Now I never. Yeah, I know, right?
No, she's smart.
That's if she was really smart.
No, I'm serious. What?
She is smart. She just got the personality of a rock. Look at it. We've got to the point now where we're voting on looks and personality and that kind of stuff. All right.
Okay, but listen, how come the women didn't come to her aid? How come there wasn't?
Because she's a Republican. Let's just be honest about it. Because she's a Republican, all right?
That's sad.
So when people say we need a woman's president, they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. What they really mean is we need Hillary or we need a female Democrat.
I'm going to ask you a personal question. You got to be honest
Briefs.
with me on this. Give me one thing that Hillary Clinton has done in her life to earn her position, other than being married to Bill Clinton. Name one thing.
Earn position as
one
president?
Thing. You're a lot smarter than I am. Trust me. Name one thing that she's accomplished. And the phones are ringing off the hook. Thank you.
Do you have a cricket,
ringing off the hook?
Do you have a cricket sound thing?
You have sound? Do we have to do any sound?
That's what that question required, was a cricket sound bite. She's done nothing, absolutely nothing.
Why don't people see this? Why doesn't...
She's a female Democrat. We've had a black president, okay? Now we have to have a female president to show how much we've evolved. But even though we have a black president, we're still a prejudiced country. Don't you know that? Did you get the memo?
I got the memo.
Okay, good.
I got, and it's
I got it too.
That's Joe Messina. I'm the coach. The show is called The Business Life. I've been doing this show for 10 years. Now I'm here in Santa Clarita doing it. So every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and hopefully Mondays, I'm going to talk about life. Today, I've got my dear friend Joe Messina on, so we're talking about politics. Thursday, listen to this. Thursday, he sold more cars than anybody in the history. This is one guy. One guy sold more cars, Justin. He's going to be in the studio. So you buy a car, you sell a car, you lease a car, you finance a car, you insure a car. He's going to talk to us about all these things. He's going to tell us where you can buy a car on Thursday and save a whole lot of money.
What if I don't need a car? What if I need something else? Can you give me a deal?
What do you need? What do you need?
Can you get me a deal?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're driving a big fancy Cadillac. You got money, dog.
A big fancy Cadillac.
I saw your fancy Cadillac.
My God, I got to push the seat all the way back to get out of that
you got
car. What are you talking about?
STS or
I got the
something
CTS.
CTS, that's a big fancy car. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. You're going to hear Joe and the coach close this segment out on Trump and Kasich and Cruz and Rubio and who else is left in this thing.
Really? Seriously?
The Libertarian, I'm shocked. He's just got a funky... We'll be right back, and I'm going to tell you about this guy that I kind of like, but he's got a funky personality. Yeah, so am I. Okay, Becky Carpenter. I've got listeners all over the country. New York, Louisiana, Utah. I've been on the air for 15 years, so people follow me, and they have... So Becky Carpenter, congratulations to you, my dear. I will send you the $100 gas card. And I'll be on Thursday at 1. And on Thursday, I'm having an incredible show about how to buy a car, how to sell a car, how to trade in a car, how to finance a car, and also on how to insure a car. So on the show we call The Business of Life. I've been doing this for 15 years. And Joe Messina, my pal, was on my show across the country many, many times. He'll be on with me also many, many times as the weeks go along, because this year is maybe one of the most important years in our life, because we're going to elect a president. And people don't realize, Joe, you and I both realize that this president, probably the new president, will appoint 2 or 3 chief justices.
Yeah, sure.
And that is the most important decision, other than, unfortunately, war. But the chief justices will make or break this country based on what the founding fathers had in mind. Mm-hmm. And a guy that becomes president, because we already know that 2 or 3 justices are just hanging on right now. And these justices are the ones that really support the laws, condone laws.
They're supposed to.
Yeah, they're not
supposed to make law.
Well,
yeah.
Tell them about Obamacare. And anyway, so this is an important election, Justin. Tell all your friends, because the future of the country for you, Joe and I are going to get out okay. We're going to be all right. But you and your millennials, you don't want to live in a country where your paycheck, 60 or 70% of it, I'm not kidding. Think of California right now. Think about right now, you and I are taxed at the highest tax rate. We have the highest or second highest state income tax in the United States. We have the highest gas tax in the United States. We have the highest sales tax in the United States, and a bunch of other hidden taxes. So if you think you're taking X home, you're taking Y and W home, because these taxes go to support.
In this state, nothing.
Well, our road system, I will,
Really?
You know what, I love Caltrans. I will say this, that our road system, I travel all over the United States like you do. Go to, how about, I was in...
I hear you, but for the amount of money we're spending, okay, our infrastructure isn't as strong as it should be. We have weak bridges up and down the state.
Well, yes.
They have pillaged
Yes.
the transportation coffers that we have in this state, and now they want more money for it.
Well, I don't know. I don't argue that. Our infrastructure, this is what irritates me. I'm going to end this show being irritated that Obama hasn't gone 2 or 4 or 5 years ago to Congress and say, hey, we need to replace our bridges. Just this puts people to work.
Well, it's those pesky Republicans. They get in the way. They won't want to spend any
Is
money.
it the Republicans? Is that who's blocking?
They just passed one of the biggest budgets ever.
What are you doing on your show
tonight? And they're still claiming.
We're done. What are you doing on your show tonight?
What am I doing tonight?
9 a.m. on
Tonight
KHTS.
I have
and
three hours.
50 million other radio stations.
Three hours tonight, yeah.
You can listen on a great app.
We're on 41 stations across the country.
Isn't
if you're
that
local,
something?
you listen on hometown station. At
You don't
9.
know what you're doing tonight?
We are 6 to 9 live, 6 to 9, replayed 9 to midnight. What about? Yeah, I do. I'm doing all kinds of stories tonight. We're talking a little bit more about that football team, the girls football team.
No, girls basketball team.
Basketball, football. It's all the same. I'm not a sports freak.
The basketball.
I don't make any money.
Basketball is a big round.
I don't
thing.
make any money off it, so
Football's
I really don't care about it. Yeah, we'll probably talk a little bit about the all white debate that was on yesterday, of the all white. Old white debate that was on yesterday.
Pretty good.
And
if you're a political junkie like I am, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And so we do the crazy stories of the week. You know,
say hi to the missus. You'll be back on many times. His name is Joe Messina. You can tune in 6 o'clock tonight on KHTS.
On KHTS, it's 9 to midnight.
9 to midnight, and then 6 o'clock across the rest of the country. All right, the show is called The Business of Life. I'll see you Thursday. Tune in at 1. Tell your friends. Want to buy a car? Want to sell a car? Want to finance a car? Want to insure a car? This guy has broken all records. I'll see you Thursday at 1 o'clock. I'm the coach, Coach Ron Tunick. Go to CoachTunick.com if you want to check me out. CoachTunick.com.
What if I need a coach?
I'll tell you later.